Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson.
Hello, Watson.
You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent?
Perhaps.
Let us go.
Follow me. Oh, actually, before that, I think I have a new letter here. Excuse me, bees. Dear Mr. Holmes, I have finally found the courage to write you a letter. I can scarcely find the words to express my gratitude for your kindness. On that terrible day I believed my life to be ruined, but at the same time I realized there to be one person in the world who truly loved me and who I loved in return. His name we both know. He is Captain Jack Crocker. His love has given me true reason to live. Even if we cannot be together in the end, none of this could have happened without you, Mr. Holmes. Yours sincerely, Mary Brackenstall. And of course, the silver fork. The missing silver fork.
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
Of course. Why else would we be here, Watson? And if there happen to be some spare flowers
Don't
around...
touch anything else, is that clear?
Oh.
Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favour for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
I see. Very good, Mr. Hamish, was it? Yes. Very good. Albert...
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you.
Thank you, Albert.
Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy
What
are you
tragedy is
referring
that?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunne, he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry.
Oh.
We're not aware. The two of you were good friends?
He was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house?
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the colonial collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we
I see.
understand.
Very good. Huh.
The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
Plants from the east and the land of the rising sun.
Do not touch.
Do not... do not touch. There we are. The list of plants that were supposed to be here.
Here is a list of the stolen plants.
10 exotic plants from the east. Now, since
According to Albert,
we're
this is where
here,
his father, Montague Dunne, was found dead.
yes, I don't see anything wrong with a light investigation of the events.
Blood.
Blood. I don't remember a heart attack involving blood,
This
unless
sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it. Someone fell violently against this sign, and they were injured in the clash. Most likely a head wound.
What about these fragments?
Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here.
Yes. There's also dirt here.
Soil.
Soil.
It should have come from a flower pot.
Indeed.
Soil.
Yes. Soil. Soil. Footprints. Thin black tracks.
The traces are thinner in some places.
And thicker in some others.
These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here.
Oh. What's this? Broken escutcheon.
The esconsson was
Esconsson.
breached near the handle.
Yes. Very interesting.
The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed. The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection Room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the colonial collection.
Very strange. The
Yes.
smell is strong. It is a detergent.
A detergent and a stone chip of some sort. What's
This
this?
broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow.
Aha.
A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture.
Indeed. Yes, very good. Window panes.
These windows were perfectly cleaned. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly clean.
Oh,
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
interesting. What's this? There might be something else of interest here. Perhaps outside? Footprints, fragments, broken pot.
This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced. All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all.
Yes. So, it seems that something in this room happened which caused the victim to break out of the door, knock over the pot, and finally fall down on the fence. Oh, there we are. 1, 2, 3. Just like so. So what?
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunne damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder?
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Hello there, Albert. Yes, we have some questions for you, if you don't mind. Let's see here. Red eyes, wept recently, consumed by grief. Shaving cut. And clean hands.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only, for I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
Thank you, young man.
I see.
We shall see you again soon.
What's all this then? Fireplace. Broken pot. How strange. What's this?
The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
No. What could it be from?
The remains of a picture frame.
Oh.
A protective mask.
Yes. Very good. Oh. There we are.
Someone set it alight, but it did not burn.
Yes.
The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned.
What's this? A door handle.
Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the Colonial Collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material.
Indeed. Precisely.
A broom handle was half burned.
This is all very peculiar. Let's examine you more closely, Mr. Hamish. Myopic, inexpensive glasses. Oh, dirty collar. Dirty man. Unmarried. Yes, it would appear so. And gardener's hands. So, Mr. Hamish.
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunne, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
And what about keys to the doors in the gardens? Could you provide some for us, please?
Would you unlock the doors for us?
Do you expect to find the stolen plants there? I am sorry, but those rooms are private.
I
Thank
see.
you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Exotic Plants, Volume 4, Poisonous. These plants have a certain toxicity in common, or more or less variable. Dionia carnivorus, Carlina inhibrae, Florum diabolica, Pernus serratina, Chromolina odorata, Heliomorphus tepius, Bibulus, Genlicia violacea, Darlingtonia, Cracocas cephalotus. Only the first three can be dangerous to humans, particularly Florum diabolica, but only under very specific conditions. The plant should react to a process of aggression against which it will issue deadly spores.
Here it is.
I see. Very good. Now, let's see if we can find the symbol. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens, and the glyph on it means divine, if I'm not mistaken. The Divine Syndicate, perhaps? The Divine Scholastic Syndicate for Vegetation Veneration. The members of this syndicate worship Tree One, the God King. They strive to obtain spiritual peace and release themselves from the material world. So generous donations are appreciated. Here
it is.
Yes, so.
The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
So, some deadly plants were stolen. Deadly plants that can prove fatal to humans. And someone cleaned and emptied out only a part of the colonial collection. This is suspicious. Perhaps it was intended to conceal certain evidence. Now, the empty colonial collection, and Dunne was trapped in the colonial collection room, and he forced the door and died in the water lily greenhouse. Therefore, we must perform an autopsy on Montague Dunne. The death is suspicious. Why had he forced the door of the colonial collection room? Why had someone cleaned and emptied the room? Was it a trap or a simple accident?
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunne's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy, then.
Indeed. Let's go. Yes, should be down here. There we are. Empty, as always. Very good.
First of all, let us carry out an external examination.
Yes.
There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination, so that we can proceed with the autopsy.
Indeed.
No redness, stings, or bruises.
No. Oh.
There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse.
Yes.
The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma. The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal.
Very good.
Nothing suspicious here.
Oh, good, yes.
Let us examine the internal organs.
Yes, here we are. There we are. Now.
The lungs are congested and edematous.
Yes. And, what's this?
The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant.
One of the poisonous plants, perhaps. Yes.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs.
Well, that's good.
The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs.
Good, very good.
The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction.
Not very uncommon here.
The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs.
Yes, indeed.
The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs.
Good, that's good. What about the consistency?
There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death.
Interesting. So, From this we
Suspicions have been
deduce
substantiated.
that
Montague Dunne, the director of Kew Gardens, died from
Was poisoned.
Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
I
yes,
mean,
Yes.
it was
is
murder.
we should inform Lestrade.
Yes, but
Yes.
do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes.
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No.
No.
We also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunne.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No.
No, no,
A
no,
few
no, no, no.
innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building. I suppose that is necessary.
We should also
Yes.
be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunne.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than
Only a little. Excuse me, Mr. Hamish.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunne's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before. And now all of a sudden he is trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
So, what do you think about Albert Dunne? What can you tell me about him?
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Was he?
Oh, yes. He forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunne had Albert make a presentation speech. But then,
Yes.
while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunne interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
And what about his father, Mr. Hamish? What can you tell me about his father?
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunne?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression, great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
I see. And what lifestyle is that?
You mentioned that Mr. Dunne led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say? He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
I see. And speaking of ladies, what can you tell me about Miss White?
you mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
Naive.
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunne. And why, he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
I see.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
I see. Do you know anything about the Divine Syndicate?
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I
No.
am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Hello again, Albert.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Of course. What can you tell me about your father, Albert?
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
I see. And speaking of the others who work here, what can you tell me about Miss White?
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
I see.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father
Is
would not
that
tolerate
so?
Indeed. That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
it. Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see.
I see.
How was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. That my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
I see.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah. At the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
Very well.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.